welcome to Weekend Project. I'm Laura Lynn of the Mama Pop Quilt Shop, and we're very happy to see you here today. We're working on a commission quilt from a neighbor actually just down the road. I'm hoping she's liking it. She kind of gave me free rein to do whatever I like. Purple was one of the colors that I know was supposed to go for the baby quilt, so I have put in quite a few little purples. So I thought about, I've done chevrons with half square triangles, and you know how you line those up and then line them up and line them up, line them up. But then I was flipping through, you know, the wonderful World Wide Web, whatever, and I found how to put one together using triangles. I thought, oh, this is kind of spiffy niffy. I kind of like that idea. So, and since I have this very handy dandy tool from Quilt, it's a 1/4 square 6-inch cutter, and it does 3, obviously 1, 2, 3, and of course you layer up. You can put up, I think it was up to 13 layers of fabric, so you know how many that's going to cut, quite a bit. So it's like almost 40 pieces. So what I've done is, because of course you can do this any size you like, just make your row that much more longer and it's going to fit the size of quilt you like. So what I've started here, I've done 6 and 6, so I've done, so explain what I mean by 6 and 6. Okay, there's 6 of these pink or purple triangles going on this row, and there's 6 purple triangles going on this row, and they just alternate. You're just going to pin them a little bit different. This will all get trimmed down, and I'll probably border it out with another purple that's not even in the quilt yet, and probably a gray, and tie it all together. So the only little pop of pink in here is this right here. That's all I really wanted, was just a little pop, and the rest was going to be purples. So this is how we end up putting together. We're just going to put triangle, flip, triangle, flip, triangle. So we'll put one together, a row together right now, and these 2 rows are going to go together here, this and this. They'll end up being stitched together. And when you have, you certainly can do this in a scrappy way. If you look at this row right here, I used the leftover bits that we did for the McDougall Parents quilt, the donation one. And as long as you line them up, you can, as long as that makes that V pattern, you can scrap it up. I think that looks kind of cool. You know, as long as you're making sure you're putting it in the order that it needs to be, okay? So just think about it. Just think about it a little bit ahead of time. So really the one that we're working on now is actually, I'm going to do another section over here. I kind of work from, I don't want to do the whole thing in one piece. You kind of do it in pieces. Other than that way, you're going to end up with like a slant or a curve to your whole quilt as you're going, because you're always working from the same side, right? So you don't want that. So what I'm going to do here is work on this gray, because the gray is going to connect up to the top. And it's going to have white, and then the white and the purple are going to connect, and then the purple and the purple are going to connect, and that'll be it. So we'll try and do 3 rows. We'll put one on, and then you get to see the jivvy of what's going on. Okay. So, and this is where you actually have to lay this out to you. I'll show you why. Because we know we want this gray triangle in that manner, and the white triangle to go in that manner, right? Is that correct? Am I doing that right? Oh, no, it's going this way. There we go. Okay. Like that. So that ends up making that part of the zigzag in itself, right? So we want to make sure that we are doing this correctly. When we go and lay it out, we want to make sure that this is here for the color, which actually would be the gray color. So we'll do that there, and then it would be a white one, and then, oh, I got that backwards. But anyways, hold on, we'll figure it out. See, I've just been making them like crazy. Now when I had to actually stop and think about it, my brain farting. So, okay. So that goes up there. And then that goes there. Because that's going to make that zig. Okay. Make sure. Some of these are very pattern specific and some of these are not. So, like, can really tell whether it's the wrong side or the right side, so make sure you're getting those 2 pieces together. And it's always going to be matching up a corner and like a center corner piece and one edge piece, and that's what's going to give you that little angle that you need to make your row. Okay. I thought it was a little fun little project. Like, why not? Try and learn something new, how to make chevrons with a triangle. Okay, listen, buddy, what's going on here? Yeah, that's what I thought. Hush up now. So you want to make all 6 of them the same way. So if you have it, it's easy to just chain piece like that, but making sure that you are laying your pieces in the same manner each time. So you know you have a long corner edge coming up to the middle point edge, and then same and vice versa, right? Because it's the same as what's happening on the white. You have it on the corner and then a long edge. Okay. Just line them up. Like I say, you could do them all at the same time. Oops, these two of them stuck together. I love this little white paisley fabric. It's actually, it's been a favorite of mine. I've done it on a few quilts. My niece's quilts, but both niece's quilts. My one of my eldest nieces and one of my youngest nieces. So, it's a pretty color. It's got a lot of movement to it because even though it's just like plain gray. Okay. Just lining that up. Okay, here. Oops, break the two apart. Making sure it's lining up. Nice and so you put a pin in. Sorry, you can put a pin in if you like. I think this is kind of small enough to be able to kind of handle like this. Or big enough to handle. I mean, if it was smaller, I probably would put a pin in. Then you're not end up struggling with it, and it's not flipping and flopping everywhere. So, okay. And make sure you're trying to feed them in all the same way. All 6 of them, all the same way. Don't go switching things around, or you're gonna have to tweak your row. Okay. Now that you got your little pennant or your MC Hammer pants. Sorry. I saw them the first time. That's what they reminded me of. Can't touch it. Do. Okay, anyways, get serious business here. Come on now. All right. Okay. Now, depending how they were going to lay out, right? Okay, like that. And then like that, and like that. So you can sew stacks of 2 together, and then your 2s become 3s, or your 2 2s, and you know, so whichever way you need to get them together, whichever makes you happy. Just make sure you're going the right way. You could sew all 6 together if that's what you like. I kind of like having the 12 become 6, and the 6 become 3, and then the 3 become 1. So that's just me. Okay. Had some phenomenal weather. Just been loving it. I was doing a little munchkin chauffeuring this week. I have to say, I had a lot of fun picking them up. Spent a little time with them before, you know, his parents got home. So went to the park, had ice cream. Any excuse is a good excuse for ice cream. Totally. I had cookies and cream. It's one of my favorite. I was like, everybody wanted chocolate. The sad thing was the whole bottom half of my comb broke, so I had to like go like crazy, so I wasn't wearing it. Because that was what I normally do. All right, so of course I've got the 4 together, and then these 2. I forgot to sew them together before putting the 4. And yeah, once you get the rhythm of it, like I was a little, okay, each row I had to make sure I had the proper placement to make sure I had the triangles going in the right direction. And if you wanted to do it in 2 colors, really, it's super easy. Like you do a red and white, or, you know, a blue and gray or something like that would make an awesome chevron, and you just have to just keep trucking them out. You could just chain piece them all together, really, at that point, if they're all the same, if they're just the 2 colors. So would be no problem at all. I just thought I have a bunch of colors to work with, and you know, I'm sure there's lots of creative colors in the baby's room itself. You know, she's coming along, so put a little extra color in the quilt. Okay, so I want to press this now that I have them all there. Okay, all ready to go. Okay. And of course, like I say, you make them longer. This is 6, right? You do 12 and you got yourself like, I don't know, almost like a twin size bed sheet, you know, like not sheet, but you know, bed size. Now let's place this here. Now this was the trickiest part, I have to say, because I've ripped a row out already. I have to say only one, thank goodness. But trying to get your row points to line up. So if you see right here, you just kind of want to make sure that that is lining up with there. Okay, I'll let Pop get in a little closer. Because I found this as a little tip as I was going along. Because it's kind of hard sometimes, you don't want it to shift too much, and you're trying to get it right in the center of this one right here to match up that point. So I was just kind of bringing it up, trying to match down to the one previously, this one right here, going, okay, that seems pretty good. Pop myself a little pin in. Okay. Then I was just scooting to the other side, lining it up. And look, that one makes a whole perfect square. Do you see that? That white and that purple make a perfect square. So if as long as I was thinking, oh, okay, those are lined up, those points are going to be lined up, that's good there in the center there. And that helps a lot with proper placement. And sometimes if you have to tweak a little bit, then you tweak a little bit to get it into that center. Or you're going to have one of those chevrons a little wonky, and you don't want any wonky chevrons. Okay. And you can pin at every intersection or whatever makes you comfortable. It's completely up to you. I mean, don't do anything you're not comfortable with. Okay. See, nice, perfectly square right there. Matching tip to tip or corner to corner. Okay. And then shifting along, matching it up. See how matchy that is? And then put a little pin in. And then you're just going to sew right down. And then you'll see how we pretty much finished off that gray chevron from that line. So you're finishing off one chevron and starting the next with every row you do. Okay? Sorry, I'll turn down here. I had sewing students yesterday, and we're making summer dresses, and we're having a lot of fun. And we were trying to go around corners, so I told her to turn it down all the way and just putter really slowly, and she's like, I'm like, it's just better that way if you're coming around corners. It was a big curve to do the armpit. It's hard to do underneath the arm. But I could tell she just wanted to floor it like I do. Get her done! Okay. Almost there. And I always take my pins out along the way. It does really help with proper placement. Matching up intersections, if that's what we were doing, matching up intersections, but not really. And don't forget to backstitch. Okay, we're doing all our hard work all falling apart. Okay, and then I'll show you. See? That's pretty good. Looks like a chevron. It's not wonky at all, is it? Doesn't look wonky to me. Okay, so we'll give that a little press. Okay. And then we'll just work another row. Okay. All right, so now we want to make sure we're matching up the white. Okay. So we can do that. It'll be this one out here. Okay. And then it'll be this purpley color here. And then the white. Oh, that one's sometimes a little, you really have to take a look to make sure you're on the right sides. See? And then you're just making the chevron each row. Sometimes you just have to take a little moment to think about it. Okay, so we know that when we're threading these through the machine, we want this one to lay on top of this one like that, and all 6 of them are going to be the same. Doop, 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 okay? So just pop those there. Bring these ones over here. Okay. Doo, doo, doo. And if you can line them all up and get them all done, you know, in one shot. Oh, Is that right? Yep. It's always best to double check sometimes if you're questioning it. Like, I don't know. Looks a little weird to me. And of course, if you have to use the seam ripper, you know, do so. Like I said, I had to rip a whole row out. It was over about maybe a quarter of an inch, but the whole quarter of an inch was playing with my eye. I'm like, okay, that's not right, you know. So better take it out. Doo-dee-doo. So we're really looking forward to doing a live stream. Very much so. And we have a project in mind. And we'll just try and do it every weekend or every Sunday for a few weeks until we get the project done. And it'll be the same project we're working on every day or every stream until that project's done. Right. However, you know, we'll set a hour and a half or 2 hours max, or, you know, if there's nobody there to watch and I'm making funny faces at myself and Pop and shadow puppets on the wall, we may cut it short. But we're hoping you're there watching. Okay, so now that's all that 6 done. And we do our little ends. Actually, it looks like pennants on the, you know, like for hanging from. Ooh. Go team! Okay. Still, the MC Hammer pants are really funny. Okay, so now we want to make sure we're doing this correctly by having that piece, that white piece there, be the starter point. So that's the chevron. So we're making sure we're adding those pieces together in the correct manner. Okay. Love to hear what everybody's up to for the summer. Got any big plans going on? Any trips? We had to, unfortunately, buy a new fridge since ours decided it was not working for us anymore. It's like 8 years old, and you know, things just happen. We had a power outage and power outage again and power outage again, and apparently it did not care for such power outages, and it has now rebelled. So we've been almost a week now without a big fridge. We went and got a small fridge till the big fridge arrives, but it's like such an inconvenience in such warm weather, you know, like everything almost went in the fridge because we weren't sure if we could start her back up again. We were troubleshooting, you know, but fridges are not cheap. Holy moly. Just go, you know, and we're huge water people. Like we're not coffee people. We don't drink pop or anything. We're just water and ice and, you know, juice every now and again. But, you know, and I'm a huge tea drinker, so it's just pretty much water and tea. So to have a fridge without a water or ice dispenser in it is just like, what is the use of this? I've been missing my cold water, let me tell you. And I was trying to wonder why the grocery stores don't carry big jugs of cold water. They only carry little things of cold water. Because I'm whining about it, that's why. Just so, Laurelyn. Anyways, just wanted to express the big inconvenience not having a fridge. And no space in the little fridge for pretty much anything. All right, so that's that one all done. Let's give it a little press. And then I think we'll just add this other chunk on and show you what I have so far, and we'll call that a weekend project. Okay. Ta-da. All right, so we're gonna come over here and do what I was saying before, doing a little flip. Getting those little squares and those triangles to meet right up. And then pinning in the center. Okay? Super easy McPeasy. And especially if you have a cutter or you got like I don't know, do fabric chunks come in triangle pieces? I think they do. Thought they did. So if you had any of those and didn't quite know what to do with it, there you go. Bibbidi bobbidi boo. Make yourself a chevron blanket or a chevron quilt. Okay, move that over a smidgy. Oh, it doesn't. And sometimes you have to just be a little manipulative with the fabric. Make it work for you. You're the boss. Give a little tug if you need to. Okay, there we go. Pin these little two here. And you see how I like to work from the center and then over to the side and then center to, and then back from the other center part and over. Just to me, I find I get a little bit more of an even pinning. And I don't end with little, maybe too much on one end. You could have more of a longer chunk over here that you maybe didn't really need. So I find that easier to do. I do that with the long arm too. You pin from the center and work your way left or right, and then come back to the center and work your way the other direction. You get a nice even pinner. Is that even a word? Nice even pin. Well, I don't know. It pinned good. Clearly, it's been a long day. It just started. I just chose a complementary thread. I think it just have a tan and a white and a gray. And it should blend the colors quite well. I was putting a quilt together for one of my husband's godfathers, and sounds so mafia-ish. No, anyways, and it was for his grandson. And I guess in the middle of piecing what I was trying to piece and stuff, I had switched bobbins to do something and didn't switch back and went back to piecing. But I noticed that because you're just focused on trying to get the quilt together, right? So I get it up on the long arm, and I go and I pin it and I baste it, and I'm like, what are those little threads? Is that red thread? And lo and behold, I actually did like 2 blocks of putting the little quilt together in red bobbin thread. I was so mad at myself, you have no idea. And of course, you can't leave it that way. It was already partially quilted on the long arm, like a good square of it. So I had to pick all that out, then take it off the long arm, pick all the squares out. I was like, oh my gosh. And it could have been easily prevented if I just would have looked and see what I was doing before I was doing it. Oh, life lessons. They bite you in the bum. Okay, so I'm gonna pin what I have left over from this chunk here to this side here, and then I will show you and we'll be done, okay? And of course you can keep going and going and going, and you can make a big huge border around it if you like. I mean, it's up to you. Of course, now that I have a bigger chunk, but it doesn't take away from the whole effect of still lining up the points, right? It's still the point there, it's still the triangle or the square there, so still remains the same purpose, or the same rule applies. Okay. Do. So like school's been out for 3 weeks now, and that's usually I get a couple of kids coming around saying hi, how much they miss me from crossing guard. It's kind of funny. I usually have them come out and come to the garden. We'll pick a couple raspberries and chat about their summer, how it's going, and then they go putter off. It's funny though, because if you're their daily, I don't know, you're their daily up pick, I guess, because I'm always trying to be so chipper towards them and what they got going on. And everybody's got life stresses at home, but if you know you can get just a chipper hello and how are you out of at least one person a couple times a day, from being myself. Sometimes it changes your perspective and your outlook, right? So I thought it was kind of cute that they were coming around. Like, do you miss me? Yes. It's like, aw, come pick some raspberries. It's like, leave the peas alone. Those are my peas. But the raspberries are just going like crazy, so I don't mind sharing those. And they don't seem to mind eating them either. All right, we'll sew this row on, give a press, and then I'll show you what I think it was 15 rows or 16 rows look like. Maybe not even that many. Probably not. Okay. And it was just a nice, bigger than a baby quilt, about crib size-ish, you know, so it would grow with her for a couple years and then, you know, be put aside as, you know, the baby quilt sort of thing. So I asked if they wanted traditional or modern, and it was kind of, so I kind of chose something in between. It's kind of both, don't you think? I think it's both traditional with the zigzag and also modern with the color choices that I've chosen. So, you know, here's hopefully I've conquered both things, and they really like it. I just thought it was a really neat way to do chevrons, you know. Because sometimes from projects, all you have is like triangle bits left over, and you sometimes don't even know what to do with it. You're looking at it going like, what? All right, did I get all my pins out? I did. Okay, we'll give this a little press, and then I'll show you. Like I said, great way to use scraps. You could do, like I was trying to do, a different color each line. You can pick like 4 colors and just alternate. You can, it's endless. At the end, option is endless. I just had a bunch of purples and a bunch of grays, and I thought they really looked nice together, and I tried to do them in a variegated sort of look for dark to light. What do you think of that? Does that look pretty good? I think it's kind of pretty. And like I said, we'll just lop down the sides here, and you can even use these little bits, because what ends up coming off, you could probably use it together to build up a border a bit. So there you go, that's pretty good. So if I go by by size here real quick, see, that's 0. We'd be looking at about, what, 33, not even trimmed. 33 by, probably about 38 at that point. And then a little border all the way around. I really like how this turned out. I really do. Just the little mixy-matchy sort of thing, and I don't know. It gives a really kind of some funky movement. So here's hoping that they like it, and I'll finish it up. So thanks everybody for watching Weekend Project. We really appreciate it here. Thanks for liking and subscribing. If you want to get notices of any new videos we have going on, just click the bell. And all those people out on VidMe, thank you very much for upvoting and leaving your lovely comments. And thank you also for YouTubers. The lovely comments, much appreciated. And looking forward to live streaming. We'll let you know. Keep an eye on the Facebook page for information about it, when it's going to be, and what times we're going to work on. And we would love to see you and answer any questions that you have going on, okay? Thanks, everybody. Take care and enjoy your weekend. Bye-bye.